During the proceedings of 168 in Denver, one of the greatest combat athletes of all time, Demetrious Johnson, announced his official retirement from MMA.
I want to say thank you to all of my teammates from the very beginning, back in 2006, all the way to 2024. It's been a long journey. Thank you to Matt. He's like my... Thank you to Matt. Thank you to my wife. Thank you to my wife. Thank you to my children, my mother-in-law, father-in-law. Get it, dog.
Mighty Mouse was the first ever UFC Flyweight champion, and he held the title for 6 straight years, defending it a UFC record 11 consecutive times. Following his historic UFC run, DJ signed with the One Championship in 2019, where he won the Flyweight World Grand Prix with 3 victories in the same year. The GP win earned him a fight with the champion Adriano Moraes for the title in 2021, but he lost via a brutal knockout in one of the biggest upsets of the year. In the rematch, Mighty Mouse made history when he finished Moraes with almost exactly the same move Moraes finished him with to claim the title. That made him the first fighter to have held a UFC and a ONE world title. In 2023, Johnson returned to the States for the trilogy bout, and he scored a unanimous decision to end their rivalry. That was a year ago, when he first hinted at his possible retirement.
And yeah, guys, like I said last time, I sound like a damn mouse. Like I said last time, when I came here to Denver, Colorado, I told you guys that was potentially my last fight, and I was not lying. Like, I am done competing in mixed martial arts, and I want to say thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity.
The 38-year-old was the reigning One Championship Flyweight champion and will go down as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. As such, One CEO and Chairman Chatri Sitjadong bestowed one last honor upon the legend.
Not only the greatest mixed martial arts of all time, but also the first inductee to the Hall of Fame in One Championship, DJ!
At UFC Fight Night 242, Sean Brady dominated former title challenger Gilbert Burns to prove that he's ready for a title fight. The problem is that the welterweight division is as stacked as it's ever been, and he could be waiting a while. The game plan was simple: push Burns up against the cage, work through the clinch fighting, and get the takedowns. For the most part, it worked. Burns landed some good strikes, particularly in round 3, but Brady smothered most of his offense, and now he wants more. His lone career loss was to the newly crowned champion Belal Muhammad, who beat Brady with a TKO back in October of 2022. Because of that, a rematch with the champ is still a ways off, so he's called out 2 other people instead. Ian Machado Gary thinks he's God's gift to Earth, and he's not. And I feel like everyone in this sport feels the same way. "I'll fight him," said Brady. Then he added, "I'll fight Colby Covington. I think Colby is the easiest matchup in the division. I'll piece him up on the feet. I'll ragdoll him." In the co-main, Natália Silva also announced herself as a top contender. The previously unranked flyweight scored a unanimous decision victory over the former strawweight champ Jéssica Andrade in an action-packed bout that won them Fight of the Night. As usual, it was Andrade pushing the pace with her brutal punching, but Silva's counter-striking and kicks, particularly on the back foot, were on point. Not many fighters have survived a firefight with the former champ, but Silva thrived. Dana White, "I came here to be a champion," Silva said to the UFC CEO after the win. "I want that shot." Like Brady, though, Silva has some fights ahead of her before that happens. The champion Alexa Grasso has a second rematch with the former champ Valentina Shevchenko scheduled for this weekend. Whoever wins that bout has a long list of potential contenders ahead of Silva, including Manon Fiorot and the two-time former strawweight champion Rose Namajunas. A win over the former champion Andrade, however, jumps you a long way up the rankings. While Andrade didn't win the fight, she did share fight of the night with Silva. That makes Andrade the women's record holder for most post-fight bonuses in UFC history with 11. Performance bonuses went to Steve Garcia and Cody Durden for their stoppages on the main card. To the Bellator Champion Series, the lightweight champion Usman Nurmagomedov remained undefeated after taking a calculated unanimous decision win over fellow Russian standout Alexander Shabliy. Usman, who is the younger brother of the former UFC champ Khabib Nurmagomedov, remained calm and consistent until the fourth round, when he landed a head kick that rocked Shabliy. The champ swarmed, but when the stoppage didn't come, he settled for the decision. In the co-main, de Monsoon Lorenz Larkin stormed to a first-round stoppage win in his welterweight eliminator against Levan Chokoli. It was his 9th win from his last 10 fights, and it earned him the next shot at the champ, Ramazan Kuramagomedov. And the retired MMA star turned celebrity boxer Jorge Masvidal says he's returning to the cage, but not everyone is as excited about this as he might think. I had a blast doing the boxing. It was fun. It was everything, but there's just nothing in the world that compares to MMA, said Street Jesus. I love it, man. Definitely 100% back to MMA. I don't know when I'm fighting, but I'm fighting either the end of this year or next year. After serving years as an MMA journeyman, Masvidal rose to prominence in 2019 when he knocked out the former ONE champion Ben Askren in a record 5 seconds, before winning the inaugural BMF title with a TKO win over Nate Diaz. Riding that immense wave of momentum, Masvidal fought Kamaru Usman twice for the UFC welterweight title, failing both times. But their first encounter was one of the highest-selling pay-per-views in the promotion's history. Immediately after those 2 losses, Masvidal would go on to lose another 2 consecutive bouts in the UFC before retiring from MMA in April of 2023. Gamebred is undoubtedly still a name in combat, but would anyone want to watch the now 39-year-old return to the cage? Former UFC dual division champion and current analyst Daniel Cormier doesn't think so. Do you care like you did in 2019? Do you care like you did when he was on that amazing run, where he made himself from a guy that was middling, from a guy that was a bit of a journeyman, into a main event attraction? Asked DC. Do you care today in 2024? And the answer is probably no. In the main event of 168 Denver, the flyweight kickboxing world champion Superlek Kiatmakau continued his glorious ride to combat megastardom. He crushed the Muay Thai champion Jonathan Haggerty in under a minute to become ONE's latest 2-sport king. They call him the kicking machine, but his elbows are no laughing matter. Just 30 seconds into the bout, Haggerty pushed forward with a 1-2 finisher. Superlek countered it with a perfectly timed elbow that completely discombobulated the champ, and the count began. The General is one of the most credentialed strikers in ONE history, but Superlek is on another level. Moves like this are why the Muay Thai legend and now dual sport champion is widely regarded as one of, if not the best pound-for-pound striker on the planet. Superlek's win was his 11th straight, and it pushed his overall record to an impressive 139-29. At the same time, the newly crowned king stopped Haggerty's 6-fight winning streak, and he claimed a US $50,000 performance bonus. In the co-main, Seksan Orkwanmuang and Liam Harrison gave us the fight we all expected in their Muay Thai showdown. The fan favourites delivered an epic slugfest, but no matter what shots the hitman fired, it was the man who yields to no one who got the job done with a second round TKO. The card also included 5 other finishers. Shamil Erdogan dominated the former 2-Division 1 MMA world champion Ong Lartensang. The 34-year-old Turkish powerhouse dropped the Burmese Python twice before finishing him in the second round with ground and pound. John Lineker's bantamweight Muay Thai debut went perfectly. The diminutive MMA heavy hitter powered his way through ace at 10 power, barely breaking a sweat as he tore through the American Ninja's defense with vicious combinations. In the end, it was a right hook to the jaw that dropped 10 power for the win, a $50K performance bonus and his debut Muay Thai victory. In his return to lightweight MMA, Adrian Lee scored another highlight reel victory, this time with a first-round submission of Nico Cornejo. The Phenom quickly dragged the Steel City Kid to the mat, but the 18-year-old instantly took his back. It wasn't long before the rear naked choke was locked on, and Lee was having his hand raised. Another teenager making waves was Johan Ghazali, who dominated Josue Cruz in their Muay Thai clash. The 17-year-old stalked his foe while unloading heavy shots to the head, body and legs, until Jojo landed the show-stopping left hook to put Tuzo out for the count. And in the opening bout of the night, Johan Estepinian kept his unbeaten record intact by stopping Sean Clamarco. After scoring a knockdown each in the first round, it was Panda Kick who came out firing for 3 knockdowns in the second for the TKO, and a $50K performance bonus no-brainer.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.